Certainly, sir.
What is going on, peeps?
Certainly, sir.
Slammer here. And I've decided I'm going to make a tutorial video. And I want to just do the most basic build, which is the one racks, and just tell you, like, if you're a completely new player, what you want to do. So as soon as you spawn in, you select your workers in a big box and right click on this gold mine here. That gives you gold. And you also want to build workers as soon as possible. And at the same time, while you're doing all this, build the first worker, you want to peel off one of your workers and go and build a house up here. As soon as the house is done, put your barracks down. Now, you want to put them up here just so it can help with the wall. But don't worry too much about this if you're a very, very new player. Main thing is get that barracks down, get the house down. So this is like one of the most basic builds. It's been around forever. It's called one rack expand. You get one barracks out, get basic racks units, and then get a second castle. The mistake I see a lot of new players doing is they get their second castle late, or they build their barracks down here and they don't break out and take their second base. So I'm playing Guess 111. He usually plays actually it looks like he wants to put a tower down or something. He usually plays a pretty standard racks play. So I'm gonna just stick around here because I'm a little concerned that he's doing something cheesy on me. And I'm actually gonna scout. You can also scout, you know, if you want, send a worker across. I generally don't like to. So you're going to queue up one soldier and go up to 9 workers. And a good way to count your workers, how I do, is you see down here, when you have a full card, that's 9, and we have one more, that's 10. And 10 is perfect saturation. So as soon as we have that one soldier out, and as soon as we hit 350 gold up there, we're going to be getting our castle. Because we have this nice little wall, we can put the castle flush up against this wall, and now it makes it a lot harder for things like wolves to attack you. And we're going to get a second soldier because if he was going for wolves. But we also scout him and see he went for castle first, which is a pretty economic build. Racks first is certainly not the most economic build, and it's perhaps not the best build either. In fact, it may be bad. But for a newer player, again, this is just a really solid build that you need to learn. Key thing to think about as you're doing this: keep your money low, always producing. You always want to see that blue bar on your buildings, alright? So keep building those workers. You gotta keep a good weather eye out on that supply counter there. This castle will allow us to not become supply blocked, and build lots of soldiers.
As you wish, sir. Your command.
As soon as that castle nears completion, like when you have about maybe 100, 150 hit points left to complete on it, transfer over 4 workers.
As you wish, sir.
And that gives you actually the same saturation, 5 workers on each base. And if you didn't know this, sending when you have just a fresh mine, up to 3 workers is more efficient, or incredibly more efficient than just having. Whoa! That was a miss micro. That was pretty bad. But having like 3 or more workers is better than. So you basically what I'm trying to say is you don't want the mine just to be like by itself. You don't want like 10 on this mine and then only a few on this mine. You want to try to even out the workers as much as possible. And around this time we're going to want to get another house. You don't really need to add another barracks because supply is so expensive. You can see we're already getting maxed out. So even if we had another production racks, it wouldn't really help us. And we know he went tower castle, so he's not going to be able to be aggressive on us anytime soon. But we're going to want to add production later on, and that's another extremely important thing. But as you can see as I'm playing here, I'm continually adding workers. This is super important because you may play a game of Littlewargame and you lose and you don't have no idea why you lost. And it's probably because you didn't build workers as much as your opponent did, and you didn't continue producing out of that one barracks. Again, even though I'm still on one barracks, I'm on full supply, so I don't really need another barracks at this point. I'm going to add a forge. Usually, if you go tower first, you're going to be playing against racks versus racks. And so we're going to send my little scout. Well, not really a scout. I'm going to send my little army out. This army is not going to attack. I just want to poke and see what kind of units he has. And at this point, I'm going to start adding more production. I'm going to add something on the order of 2 more racks down. So we'll do that. Notice as I select here, I have a full card. That means I have 9 workers. And I have 1 more worker building. That'll put me up at 10 workers per mine. That's the perfect number. So he is going racks. So the next thing to do is decide whether you want to be aggressive or play a more defensive style. Generally I say get attack in racks versus racks, so I'm going to start my attack upgrade there. It's very important to get this early. Don't neglect it. A lot of players I see really neglect that upgrade. Don't forget to get it. Notice I'm keeping my money pretty low. Keep doing that as well. I'm going to go up to 4 racks. Keep myself safe. I don't really need that, but it's not bad to get production. And you always want more production than less production. Oh. I'm going to keep a soldier up here. Actually, 2 soldiers up here to try to stop his third. And I'm going to take a third. I'm also going to scout around the map. And something important to remember is castles cost 350. Houses only cost 200. So you're basically paying 150. You get supply like a house. So you're only paying 150 extra for a nice shiny gold mine. Now, what I like to do when playing, like, depends on, there's various styles of racks, but the most basic style is, in my opinion, you get maybe 2 archers for every soldier you have. I'm not sure what the 100% ideal play is, but that feels pretty comfortable for me. I'm also going to send a soldier to kind of see if he moves out. Well, actually, we already have one here. It's important to realize if he's moving out because you want to start pumping units if he does. And in this situation, you don't, I would say, stand 1 forge because we don't have that huge of income and upgrades get expensive very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and get +2 attack, queue it up there. No need to be super ghosty about that queuing up. And you notice we're at 40 of 40 supply, so we need to start thinking about. Now what I like to do is I'll take maybe 3 or 4 workers from my natural, transfer them over, and also get a turret. And then I'll take a few workers from my main and transfer them over too. That just makes things nice and clean. And you want to go up to about 30 workers. 30 workers always feels like a very comfortable number to me. And don't neglect your production. I'm up to 5 racks. That's pretty decent. He's going for mass soldiers. And when you see that, that means you want to, you know, start adding a lot of soldiers of your own. I still think archers are decent. But it depends on... I've seen a pretty common style is mass soldier. What I'm actually going to do is something you can... Since I know it's soldiers, I'm going to try to use a lot of wall-offs. I'm going to put a racks up here so that soldiers have to kind of filter through this little choke. Notice I'm constantly checking my my saturation here. I've got 10 here. I'm missing a few workers here. Also, I noticed that he still hasn't taken a third, which means I'm fairly far ahead in this game. I just need to keep production up. I'm going to build another racks right here. And again, it's just creating those choke points. Soldiers are not good in choke points. And so the longer you can have your archers blamming away, the better it is for you. Now once I get +2 attack, I'm actually going to... let's see here. I'm just going to keep building plus. Remember, this is like your most standard, basic racks play. Just get those plus attacks. Keep building units. If you saw my previous video on hotkeys, you'd know to always keep your units hotkeyed. Or not just hotkeyed, but keep your barracks hotkeyed.
Certainly, sir.
I'm in a very comfortable position from here. I'm a little thinking like, is he hiding something from me? So I'm going to scout around with these units. And I'm not going to attack because, again, I'm being defensive. If you're ahead in a... Littlewargame is an extremely defensive game, so oftentimes it's best, especially if you're a new player. Just take it calm, take it cool.
Certainly, sir.
I know Guest 111 is commonly takes he's taken proxy bases against me before. Now I have a good amount of gold, and as the upgrades go up, it takes a lot longer. So you need to add another forge on. I probably could have added that on a little sooner.
At once, sir.
And he has taken a base up there, but it's still pretty fine. I feel pretty confident in my position, and that base is extremely easy to harass.
As you wish, sir.
I'm gonna keep adding production. I'm going to work on taking a fourth base, which is commonly taken right over here. And you can see he's got a little strike group coming. I'm gonna try to sandwich that, because that amount of soldiers I can kill easily. So I'm gonna engage him. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take this base, and I'm gonna put some towers down. Don't forget your production. Even as these fights are going on, you might be tempted to like watch this. No need to. Don't forget your macro. Don't forget your upgrades. I'm just gonna keep getting plus attack upgrades. Fill my archers. So now that this is done, I'm gonna send a large force up here. But at the same time, don't neglect your scouting. I'm gonna keep sending soldiers around the map because I want to know
As you wish.
kind of where his army is. You want to keep tabs on his army. You don't want to have like some kind of wonky base trade going on. I also want to add houses. That'll put me up to 100 supply, that one house and that one fortress.
As you wish, sir.
I'm gonna send this guy over here, this guy right here, which is the entrance, and this guy covering here.
As you wish, sire.
Gonna counterattack. Also check his upgrades. I notice he's at 0-0, so I'm a little confused by that, but whatever. And notice, important to note, look at how many racks I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 racks here. And that allows me to produce units very quickly.
As you wish, sir.
If my opponent's only on, say, 4 racks, there's no way he can catch up to me in production. It's just, and he's also on 1-1 upgrades, so he's gonna get completely wrecked if we fight, which we're gonna hopefully see in a second. And don't neglect your upgrades. You have to keep them, keep watching them. You can even put them on a hotkey, like something like Group 8 or something if you wanted to. Always keep those upgrades rolling.
At once, sir.
And this is just basic play. It's all about, I didn't do anything unique, I didn't do anything super special. I just macroed. And that's it. Look at him, he's at 0-0, I'm at +3. Now watch how easy this fight is going to be for me. Also, he has no archers, which is not bad per se, and I'm probably going to make a video later on about like speed soldier plays, but
Certainly, sir.
just these unupgraded soldiers are just fodder for my units. I'm going to send a soldier in to see what I can do to scout him. He did get dragons. That's no problem. I'm just going to queue up a bunch of archers, and then I'm going to get a couple towers. Also, I'm going to get the tower upgrade.
As you wish.
Upgraded towers are incredibly strong, so I don't even need like. So this is the play he did. He went for dragons. I don't think this is a strong play, in my opinion, because it really it cuts your upgrades badly. I don't like this play. I'm gonna send these units back. If you see dragons, just build archers. Just spam archers. Max out on your archers. I'm actually want to trading out these soldiers because they're going to be kind of useless to me. So he's got +3 damage on his.
As you wish, sire.
These soldiers can't shoot up, so I don't need them. I'm kind of low on supply. I'll get a workshop, but I don't think I'm going to actually need a workshop. And I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna get start getting speed upgrades. I would say get speed instead of like instead of armor, because speed archers are really great. Getting speed. In fact, you can almost get speed instead of attack in certain instances, because speed is very good for Rax units. I'm just gonna trade these soldiers out, and I'm gonna replace them with archers. You can see how quickly I'm remaxing here with all these Raxes. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get Raxes. I don't know why I see players with just not enough Rax, and I can't emphasize often enough how important it is to get those Raxes going.
I stand ready, sir.
So at this point I want to continue expanding. So I'm going to send some workers to the top.
As you wish, sire.
At the same time I'm going to start counterattacking with all these archers I have. And these archers are just going to kill everything at this point, because they're so heavily upgraded. They're going to have +5 by the time they arrive, and they're just going to wreck face. I'm going to
Certainly, sir.
take a base up here.
At once.
And even though I'm fighting dragons, I'm not worried. I'm just going to build a couple towers. Towers do get very expensive once you spam them, but, you know,
At
you
once.
do what you gotta do.
At once.
And once I have this much money, I don't even care. I can spam them all day long. I think I'll put 3 here. But I'm not even going to need those.
At once, sir.
As you can see, I'm completely maxed out on these soldiers.
Sire.
And I'm actually going to get a spyglass, because it's pretty common to transition to invisible.
Sir.
And you can just see how quickly this dragon's going to die to my +5 archers. Basically one-shotting them. And he taps out. So, hopefully that gave you a bit of an idea how to deal with just playing Rax. And hopefully this was an extremely basic tutorial that will help you understand exactly what you need to be doing just at the most basic level. Build units, lots of barracks, build your upgrades, build your expansions, and that's basically Littlewargame in a nutshell. It's not complicated. I didn't use any micro or APM or much of anything in this game. You don't have to be very fast, you don't have to be very good, you can just build units, and you win the game. Anyway, I hope you learned something, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.